Simon Phillips, welcome to BeatIt.tv, the drummer's website.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking time to talk to us.
Pleasure.
And we're catching up with you simply because today you have a clinic in Warsaw, Poland. So let's start with clinics.
Okay.
What's your approach to clinics? How do you see your role as a clinician, and what's the most important message you have to convey to the people who come?
Impart information, impart the benefit of my experience, impart hopefully some funny stories, and revealing the human side of the reality of the music business, and drums and drumming. I tend to be very open about it, very loose about it. I only have a plan for the beginning, and that's it, just to open the clinic. But the rest is all down to the audience. I hand it out to them, and then the rest of the clinic is basically conducted on the questions that I get. And then it depends on the questions. Sometimes most audiences are very good. They're very forthcoming, and it's never a problem. But occasionally you get the tough one, where they're not so forthcoming, and then you have to work really hard. Or they may ask a question which maybe I feel maybe is not relevant. So what I do is I do the politician trick, which, if you notice, most politicians, the journalists ask a question and they answer to a totally different question, which they won't ask, but one they want to be asked.
True.
It's a good trick. I learned by watching all these politicians on TV around the world. And there's a lot of that going on right now. So we're getting a lot of experience of that. I'm getting a lot of practice, So, but otherwise, no. Most importantly is to make it a fun event. It is still a show. It's still entertainment at the end of the day. And there's nothing worse than everybody getting really bored and too technical. So I try to keep it very informative with a lot of technical information, but I still try to make it fun for everybody so they have a good time.
So what are the questions you would prefer to be asked, or would draw, or take the conversation towards during that event?
Oh, I really don't mind. I have no...
Playing-wise, for example, it doesn't really matter to you.
It doesn't matter. I think that the misconception is, and I remember myself when I was very young and I would go to a clinic, I never asked a question. I was too afraid to embarrass myself. I think people think, I hope this question I'm asking isn't a silly question. There really aren't any silly questions, funnily enough, because if the clinician is open enough and aware enough, he'll make it so that that person isn't embarrassed. And he'll take something from the question that is positive and is useful. Let's take a very simple one. I've been asked this many times. What shoes do you wear when you play drums? Now, some people in the audience I've noticed go, I see them do that, and it's actually a very good question. And there's a lot of concept behind what you're comfortable wearing. Should I wear special drumming shoes? And my answer would be absolutely not, because what happens if your bag gets lost by an airline?
Exactly.
You're going to have to play that night wearing something you're not used to, and it's going to bug the hell out of you. You're going to be so worried. Don't get too attached to your favorite drumming t-shirt or your favorite drumming shoes. Use the ones you prefer to wear, but change it up. Because one day you're going to get there, no baggage, and all you got is your carry-on, and you don't have any spare shoes, and you can't do
And with
that.
your military boots on, for example.
Exactly.
What do you do?
Well, exactly. What do you do? So you got to be prepared for all these eventualities,
True.
when you travel.
Yeah. Sometimes people ask those questions like, what do you drink before a show? Like, is it sparkling water? Is it still water? Stuff like that.
That's a very good question.
Legitimate question, I would say.
Yeah, because if you drink too much carbonated and you got to be belching all the whole gig,
True.
It's like eating before a show. What do you eat? How much do you eat? Always, in my book, always better to play hungry than not. But of course, when you're in a town which is a smaller town and everything closes at 10, especially in Europe, things don't stay open that long, you have to eat during the day and you have to eat before the show. So then you have to be careful what you eat. You know, if you have a huge like Indian meal, chicken tikka masala, hot and spicy, and sag bhaji and everything, ooh, you're going to be tasting that the whole gig.
So what do you do when in India on tour?
Yeah, well, when in Rome. And I've done that. I mean,
exactly.
But I happen to love Indian food. But even still, then just be selective. Just say, look, I'm playing. I need something very mild. Just maybe some chicken tikka, no sauce. I mean, just be intelligent about it. That's all. It's common sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What about resting before shows?
Rest is really important, and especially when we don't get the chance to, we have an early flight. I mean, actually, for example, today, in my original itinerary, I was looking forward to having a long lie-in today, and then get up and maybe trying to find a place that actually served a good cappuccino, because that's my thing in the morning. And a little bit tough in Warsaw to find a really good cappuccino, But the schedule changed, and I said, we
Sorry
said,
about that.
Oh, no, it's okay. That's what we're there for, It was like 10 o'clock start, and I went, oh, there goes my line, So you have to grab it when you can. And one of the things, actually, I learned from my father. He would just catnap whenever you can. So even if I only have 30 minutes at the hotel room and I'm feeling tired, I get my airline things, close the windows, make everything quiet, switch the phone off, and just even try to snooze for 20 minutes. It's very beneficial, and you really have to take care of yourself.